Live from WTOC, the Southeast news leader. The News Now starts on WTOC Plus.
Well, we'd like to welcome you all to the news on WTOC Plus this morning. I'm digital anchor Jude Binkley. We continue to follow developing news as traffic is impacted after a pretty major crash near Harry Truman Parkway and Whitfield Avenue. We're going to go ahead and bring in our very own Cam McCann, who joins us live at the scene right now. Cam, how's it look out there, and what's the latest we know about this?
Well, Jude, not looking good. Traffic is backed up. Going one way, and the Whitfield Road is shut down. Now, the tow company is coming out here, and I'm going to take you off my camera stand to show you, but they are getting rid of this big wreck here, this huge car. Now, what we do know about this is that 4 EMS units responded to this call out here around 7:25 a.m. when that came in. They had a 4-minute ETA. They had one patient who was trapped, needed to be getting out of the trap that they were in, and was transported to Memorial Hospital in critical condition. You could see some of the VO there from earlier, and I apologize for my shaky hands, but we are aware of that one vehicle. It happened right outside of Chatham County Police Department's precinct, so they responded to it first as the police standpoint. We do not know if they are involved. That is not on the, we don't know yet. We're trying to work that out for you, who exactly was involved in this, but we do know one patient in critical condition who was initially trapped underneath what I assume to be this black car here, which is in rough condition. But even the wreckage from the car, you could see some glass right down here. I don't know if you're able to see as well as I can. Mm-hmm. There was also one of the lights from the car had reached all the way to this crossroad. You can see where that car is right now, all the way to this crossroad. And so this could have been a tragic, fatal accident. We're still waiting to hear more or the specifics, but that's what we got for you right now, Jude.
Yeah, and Cam, thanks for walking us through the scene. Obviously, quite a bit of the wreck is still evident, as you can see that tow truck. As far as lane closures and traffic impacts, what are we looking at right now?
Well, it appears Whitfield is really the one road that's shut down, and I'm going to let you see this right here. This is the biggest delay in traffic when you're coming onto Truman Parkway, and I believe that's heading north. But the other ways aren't really tampered down that much. You see, there are cars coming this way, but not many of them. So it's really only this section that is currently being held up. As for traffic, like when it'll clear up, we're not aware of that right now. I did ask, and they're not sure. They still have investigators and cleanup crew taking care of it.
All right. Well, Cam, thanks for joining us with that live coverage. Of course, it sounds like we'll be checking in with you throughout the rest of the morning and throughout the rest of the day on the main shows on WTOC. Thanks for joining us this morning on Plus.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we are going to continue with our top headlines here on WTOC Plus. Turning now to the Crime Watch, because we have some new developments this morning as 4 of the 6 suspects in the Best Buy theft have received bail. 2 of them are still behind bars with their first court hearing coming up this week. You'll remember this $40,000 theft at the Best Buy back in December. The scheme took place over a 2-week period. Savannah police confirmed an employee of the store said he was blackmailed into letting certain people leave the store with merchandise. That employee, along with 5 other women, were all arrested for their roles in the alleged theft. Dorian Allen, the store employee, was granted bond. Savannah Pendergraph received bail. Shabria Summers was denied bond because she's on probation out of Cobb County. Brenda Gardner was given bond. Leslie Bostick was denied bond because, according to her court paperwork, she's currently on bail from a July shoplifting charge and at risk of reoffending. And Crystal Smalls was given bond. All are banned from Best Buy or contacting one another. They'll all be in court for the first time on Thursday. Turning now to state news. This morning, we'll hear opening statements in the trial for Colin Gray. He's the father of the alleged Appalachia High School shooter. Gray is accused of providing the AR-15 style rifle used in the shooting that killed 4 people back in 2024. Prosecutors claim he gifted the gun despite a warning from police months earlier that the FBI might have tied his son to a school shooting threat. Gray has pleaded not guilty to 29 charges, including second-degree murder. In national news, it's now been more than 2 weeks since Nancy Guthrie was reported missing. Authorities are honing in on articles of clothing the suspect was seen wearing in security camera footage from that night in the investigation. Today's show co-host Savannah Guthrie has posted a new video with a message for the person holding her mother. CBS's Bradley Blackburn has the latest.
We still have hope.
In a new video, Today's Show co-host Savannah Guthrie made this plea to whoever is holding her mother.
It is never too late to do the right thing.
Police believe Nancy Guthrie was taken from her home on February 1st. The FBI says a black glove found near her Arizona home is being tested for DNA and that it matches the gloves seen worn by the suspect in doorbell camera footage.
We've got to find that guy. Somebody out there knows who this is.
Authorities are asking for the public's help to find the suspect, who they believe is male, 5'9" or 5'10" tall, with an average build. Sources tell CBS News investigators have reviewed security camera video at this Tucson Walmart store as they focus on the black Ozark Trail hiker pack the suspect was wearing in the surveillance footage. The backpack is sold exclusively at Walmart. Friday, law enforcement searched a second house located less than 2 miles away from Guthrie's home and an SUV, though no arrests were made.
The whole world just wants to know where she is.
Members of the community signed a giant Bring Her Home banner hung outside of Tucson's local NBC affiliate.
I just think of, what if this was my mother, and I just feel so bad for them.
All hoping she'll be found as the search stretches into a third week. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Well, back here at home, TSA employees at the Savannah Hilton Head International Airport are going into their third day without pay. Congress failed to pass legislation to fund the Department of Homeland Security last week. Now, TSA does fall under that partial government shutdown. This is the third shutdown since last year. People at our local airport shared concerns over the frequency of these events as well as their impact on employees.
It's a shame that our government shuts down as frequently as it does. The impact is felt by a lot of people, like the TSA workers work without pay. What a shame for them and their families. I just wish this great country could do better.
Now, local businesses lent a helping hand to TSA employees during the historic 43-day shutdown in October, including Bella Napoli, who prepared hot meals for workers. TSA workers were given a $10,000 bonus for their work after the shutdown as well. It is unclear if something similar will happen this time around. Other agencies include FEMA, Border Patrol, and the Secret Service. They're all affected as well. In state news, Georgia Senate Democrats will soon introduce legislation prohibiting the use of state resources to support ICE warehouse detention centers. The Department of Homeland Security recently purchased a warehouse in Social Circle, Georgia, that can house up to 10,000 people and has proposed another project in Oakwood, Georgia. Justin Berger with our sister station in Atlanta has more on the divide between local leaders, as some oppose detention centers while others back them.
Georgia's newest state senator wants to put forth legislation preventing state resources, tax incentives, or infrastructure support for immigration detention centers.
Decisions of this magnitude should not be imposed from the top down. Local residents, local officials, and state leaders must have a voice before irreversible commitments are made that can fundamentally alter the character and the stability of a community.
Howard says Georgia's taxpayers should not foot the bill for these detention centers without clear public consent and accountability. In Walton County's Social Circle and Hall County's Oakwood, officials say they have had little communication with the Department of Homeland Security about the sites. In Social Circle, the 10,000-person facility would double the population of the city.
We do not want to overwhelm a small community like you're just pointing out, but at the same time, we have a duty to respond to the needs of our citizens in our state to make sure that they're safe in their communities and their neighborhoods, and especially in their bedrooms at night.
State Senator Steve Gooch, who is running for lieutenant governor, has strong opposition to Howard's idea.
How does he comfort families like Lake and Riley's family when that illegal came here and literally chokeholded her and took away her last breath in our own communities?
Howard will introduce the legislation by the end of the week.
We must protect human dignity, treat each other with respect, and love our neighbor as ourselves.
If we have illegals running the streets of Georgia, we have a responsibility to lock them up, prosecute them, and send them back.
Justin Berger, Atlanta News First.
Staying in state news, Georgia's income tax may soon be on the chopping block. A bill that would wipe it out for the majority of people in the Peach State is moving to the House after it cleared the Senate. The legislation would more than quadruple the standard deduction a person can claim. In the first year, about 2/3 of Georgians would be paying no income tax at all. Supporters say it would save an average of about $5,000 for the average Georgian family. Critics say the state uses the income tax to fund services that serve Georgians.
It's real money in real people's pockets, not token money that we've told them will help them later. Senate Bill 476 is tailored to address the affordability crisis for the middle class.
This scam bill creates a massive hole in our state budget. It's going to be a hole so deep that it will swallow the services that families, everyday families, rely on.
Right now, 9 states do not have a state income tax. Well, lagging Georgia drivers could soon be asked to pick up the pace. Some Georgia lawmakers want to increase the minimum speed limit on major highways from 40 miles per hour to 50. This would only be for highways where the maximum speed is 65 or faster. The bill's sponsor says the gap between the slowest drivers and the fastest drivers is causing deadly rear-end crashes. Critics argue the change could be too hard on senior citizens and student drivers. Right now, the bill is still in committee. All right, well, early voting begins today for the nation's most watched special congressional election, Northwest Georgia's 14th congressional district. Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene stunned the nation in November with her resignation from Congress. Voters will see 20 candidates on their ballot. 5 Republicans, 3 Democrats, 1 Libertarian, and 1 Independent are facing off to take over Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat. President Donald Trump has endorsed Lookout Mountain District Attorney Clay Fuller. Because there are so many candidates, a runoff election is all but certain, which has been set for April 7th. Whoever wins will fill out the remainder of Greene's term through next January. The district, which encompasses much of northwest Georgia, is solidly red, but local GOP officials won't rest on what's likely to be a Republican victory. Democrats are also clear-eyed about their chances, but say it's always worth the fight.
You still got to put the work in because at the end of the day, we're a red district in a red county for a reason.
It is very red. I mean, those maps were drawn in such a way that is highly partisan to the Republican side. But I do think that, you know, it could be a bellwether, perhaps, on what may come in 2026.
Early voting begins today, and Election Day for the special election is March 10th.
In the wall goes Herbst, and Tyler Reddick comes to the line. Wow. A shower of sparks behind him.
In sports news, Tyler Reddick won the Daytona 500 after leading the race for only the last lap. The number 45 car drives for 6-time NBA champion Michael Jordan's NASCAR team. And NASCAR's heading right here to the Peach State in Atlanta next. The Freight Racing 208 and Bennett Transportation and Logistics 250 doubleheader is Saturday at Echo Park Speedway in Hampton, Georgia. Kids get in for free, too. And then Sunday, it's the Auto Trader 400 NASCAR Cup Series race. Really cool race. Our Andrew Gordon does a whole lot of NASCAR stuff. We heard from Kyle Busch Friday on WTOC during an interview, part of Andrew Gordon's Inside Lane. He does a whole lot of NASCAR coverage you can check out on our website right now. All right, finally, the city of Savannah might be looking a little cleaner today thanks to the Old Savannah City Mission teaming up with the Savannah Police Department. The two groups joined forces for their 5th annual Love Thy Neighborhood event on Saturday. Volunteers hit Thomas Square and nearby neighborhoods, picking up trash and, as the event title says, spreading love. Organizers say it was a fun and meaningful way to make a difference in the community.
Been doing this for about 5 years. We actually have churches from Jacksonville, Florida that came up. Callahan Church came up this weekend to give us a hand. So it's a great opportunity to show that we care about Savannah.
After a long day of service, volunteers enjoyed a free lunch as a thank you for their hard work. Great event. All right, with that, we're going to wrap things up here for the news on WTOC Plus. I'd like to thank you all for joining us this morning. We'll be back in just about 40 minutes for another round of stories at the top of the hour at 11 o'clock. Till then, you can always check our website for the latest updates at WTOC.com. Thanks for watching, and we're going to go ahead and kick it over to Local News Live.